Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd, my friends over at yarnspirations.com. Today we're going to do the ruffle fir trees, and this is a great example of creativity that I love. So there's three different sizes. We have the small, medium, and large, and how this is written is that they start working together once you get the larger sizes. So in today's pattern I'm going to go through the ins and outs of how to read this to be able to follow through. Almost all these bands are the same in the concept, but they're all changing sizes so that you can get the incrementals as you can get up narrower to the top. So we're gonna start on the base and then work your way forward. So let's talk about each of the sizes and we're gonna continue from this point. So on screen what you're looking at here is all the motifs available for the large size. So this is a mix of the instructions with large, but then it mixes the small sizes with it as well as the medium in order to get the increments in order to go right to the top. So the nice thing about this pattern is that when you do the small size, all of the sizes are written exactly as you see it. Once you do the medium is written, and then it tells you to go to the small sizes to finish so that you can get closer to the peak. Now the large size, it starts off and you're going to see that it's gonna be mixing with the medium and the small size in order to get the increments so that it can take its time getting to the top. So you're gonna notice that it's a really neat way to go. It's almost like to share your own story. So the next instructions will say refer to this band of this size, and that's the next one. So let's go. So using a 6mm size J hook, we're going to then just start off with a slip knot to begin, and in this case band number 2 and 3, it said that it was chaining of 32. So just chain 32. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Meet me back here in just a moment. So chain 32. Okay, once you have your chaining 32, without really twisting your chain at all, just insert the beginning chain onto the hook and then just yarning over, pulling it through and through. Now this is gonna rest up against the cone, so you don't need to worry about being too nice about it if you get my drift. So we're gonna begin then round number 1. So you're just gonna chain up 1 and you're just gonna put 1 single crochet in each of the chains going all the way around. So if you had chain 32, that means that there should be 32. So I count them as I go. So this will be 2, 3, 4, and 5, and go make sure that you only have 32 when you get all the way around, and I'll see you there in just a moment. So I'm just coming all the way around. The last one is 32. I've been counting, and I'm just going to slip stitch it to the top of the first chain 1. When I slip stitch it, I wanna make sure that this is gonna still stay flat out. So make sure that there's no weird twist to it, so it's easy to be able to tell at this point. So I like crocheting so the project is facing me, and so I crochet like this. I don't like crocheting like that with the project kind of in front. So just flip it in a way that makes sense for you if that's an issue. So round number 2, just 1 chain, and I am just going to do another single crochet in each of the stitches going around, and it's going to be 32 again, and I do count it a second time just to make sure because I'm kind of that way. So continue along, and I'm gonna do another 32 here. So I got 5 done so far. So I'm coming up all the way around. The last one is number 32. I've been counting, and then I'm just gonna slip stitch it to the beginning. So now this round number 3 has a growth, so it means that we're going to be incrementally increasing. So round number 3, it states chain 1 and single crochet in the first 4 stitches. So let's do that. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 2 single crochets in the next. So 1 and 2 into the same. So then we continue the same growth pattern. So it's gonna be 4 by itself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 into the next. And it's stated in this one here in this particular band number 2 and 3 of the large that there's gonna be 1 single crochet in the remaining 2 single crochets that are left. So I know my counting is right. And then I slip stitch. So rounds 4 and 5 are both the same, and they exist in these larger sizes. So let's continue to round number 4. Now when you look at 4 and 5, you're gonna think, oh my god, it's gonna take forever, but it doesn't. So it's just gonna chain 2 and slip stitch into the next stitch, and chain 2 and slip into the next stitch, and you're gonna do this all the way around, and this is causing it to expand outward, and you'll see it come into play later. So just 1 slip stitch into each stitch followed by chain 2. So please do this all the way around for round number 4, and then I'll show you round number 5, which is the same thing, but I'll show you how to get started anyway. So I'm coming all the way around. So the large bands have 2 rounds of this, and then the medium size bands only have 1, and as it gets smaller this is totally eliminated. So I just went into the very last stitch that's available. So round number 5, I'm immediately going to just start chaining 2 and just come into the very first chain 2 space and slip stitch, and you're gonna do another round of that, and this is allowing it to really grow out at the base of your tree. So it's another round of slip stitching and chain 2 into each of that, and you'll see it will expand even more. So continue this. This is round number 5, and then we're gonna then finish. So these don't really take long to make. Honestly, they don't. So when I get all the way around, I see this here. This represents to me where I started, so I can always tell when I've just come all the way around. I just look for that and just continue to go right into the very end. So that's it. So now we're gonna do round number 6. So the round number 6 changes like in as much as the single crochet and the chain spaces happen. So you'll see that changing incrementally. So you just go into the next chain 2 space, and in this case it's single crochet, chain 4, and single crochet into the chain 2 space. Now if you want more roughly, you could just add more chains to that. So just single crochet and chain 4, and I'll show you in a second. So if this is not much of a ruffle for you, just like the example, you can go in and go to the next, and let me just show you. You can chain 6 if you wanted to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then coming in, and you can see that it will change the depth of your ruffle. And you can be, as long as you're consistent in your project with these kind of changes, you can do that. So if this is single crochet, chain 4, single crochet, if I say single crochet, chain 4 equals a chain 6 instead, and I change it, then you know you can continue to be consistent if you wanted to. But I'd go through your whole pattern and just make notes on that if you're gonna change that kind of idea. And again, you can even make it even more. So instead of 6 you could do 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then coming back, and you can see it's even more roughly. So you can decide what you want to do, and once they start stacking up on top of each other, it actually looks pretty good too. So you're just gonna go all the way around, then single crocheting, chain 4, and then when you get back all the way around you just slip stitch it, and then that's it. And then you move in the instructions to the next band. So in this case it says band 2 and 3 is the same instruction, so you'd have to do 2 of these and then move along in the instruction and just follow it through. So hopefully this makes sense for you. It really does rely on you to be able to read the pattern in order to make it work. It's not a hard pattern to go through. You just gotta keep it. I put it on a little clipboard for myself, and as I was going through it here, I'm just pulling it off camera here. As I was just going through it, I was just checking it off as I was working my way through. So as I was going through, I was referring back. So band 7 and 8, it says it's the medium tree number 5 and 6. So I flipped it back. Here's the medium, so 5 and 6 is right here, so then I would follow it through, and then once I had that done, it said I kept on going in my instruction. So hopefully this makes sense. This is the fir tree. It's really a great idea, and it's really quite fun. So until next time, it's Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd. So it's my friends over at yarnspirations.com. We'll see you.